We are live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana, on DSTV on channel 277. My name is Nana Kwesi Kwetia. Let's take a look now at the headlines for this afternoon. Founder and leader of the Bus Stop Boys, Hiniba Kojo Safo, calls for a comprehensive plan to address unemployment and enforcement of sanitation laws. Former Energy Minister Boachi Ejako officially files nomination to contest national chairmanship position. And then later on Good Afternoon Ghana, Ghana will be looking at preventing death caused by non-communicable diseases. These and many more coming up. Stay tuned with us. Welcome back, and these are the details. Founder and leader of Bus Stop Boys, Hiniba Kojo Safo, says Ghana is still far from achieving responsible development and sustainable sanitation, stressing the need for a comprehensive plan that would address unemployment and community-level enforcement of sanitation laws.
We're close, and in order to whether get close or not, we need to first of all be honest with ourselves and assess the issue from the bottom. It seems we know our problems, but when it comes to how exactly we deal with our problems, they want to play around it. Ghana will be 70 years in the next 7 months. Let's forget about the SDGs. Ghana is turning 70. The reality on the grounds. As we speak, we talk about the Silton Nakoli, but the gutters that are connected to Nakoli are coming with filth. Where then do we go with achieving 2030 SDGs in 3 years? It is not possible. So we need a plan B and a possible plan C. A lot of young people are in this room unemployed. What is the best way to really put these guys in charge of their communities, give them the necessary resources so they deal with their problem from source? Then it makes it the better way forward. Because for me, as I see it here, what we do at Bus Stop Boys, I can honestly tell you, without fear or favor, that we are nowhere close getting to the sanitation problem. As we speak, the mindset, which is the origin of all the problem, we are not tackling it. We have community police who are assisting police in arresting drivers. They are supposed to go in the communities, educate the people. Educate the people, and that is the foundation to which we can work getting close to the sustainable development. In this room, everybody have a bottled water. Let's see how many of them will carry their bottled water when they are leaving. So the mindset is the core foundation of every human problem. And until we get there and follow it with honesty, and the fact that 100 years from now, nobody will be in this room, everything we are talking about is going to be about history, and therefore we need to be honest with ourselves to the core and deal with the foundation. Nakole, among the many water bodies that gives us dignity, that gave us respect, and nothing to write home about. But we go to out elsewhere and we appreciate River Nile. River Nile is equal as Nakole, so we should begin to deal with the issues to the roots. Put partisanship aside, whether MPP or NDC. Whatever we experienced on 29th June, the flood was not asking for party cards. Right. So let's find a way to deal with our issues and deal with it in honesty.
Thank you.
And away from that, the proprietress of God's Glory School Complex, Vasti Ahone, has emphasized that instilling sanitation practices in young children is key to nurturing lifelong respect for the environment. Speaking at the 2026 Ignite Media Clean Conference, she noted that the children had gained valuable lessons from the Clean Conference.
Actually, we joined it because we want to know much about sanitation in Ghana. For some time now, we've been hearing of flood all over. And because of our habits, our behavioral habits, sometimes we intentionally pour rubbish in gutters, which we are not supposed to do that. I think it's high time we stop that and try to dispose our rubbish well.
They should always keep the environment clean, and when they see anybody like dropping rubbish on the floor, they should tell the person to pick it.
Please silence that we should keep ourselves clean and neat, and we should also produce or act a good personal hygiene. Please, I would like to tell them that they should keep themselves neat and clean their environment.
Today I learned about cleaning the environment and
helping each other in everything we do. They should stop littering the environment and always clean and plant more trees.
And in keeping our environment clean, Zoomlion Ghana has conducted a mass disinfection and fumigation exercises across public spaces, markets, bus terminals, and vulnerable institutions in the eastern region to prevent post-flood disease outbreaks such as cholera and malaria.
The exercise became necessary after 7 districts in the region were affected by flooding, resulting in the destruction of lives and properties. Speaking to the media, the Eastern Regional Director of Zoomlion, Cynthia Badago, urged the public to take sanitation seriously to prevent disease outbreaks. She also encouraged residents to contact Zoomlion whenever they encounter sanitation challenges that require attention.
We are telling all our people, the people in the communities in Koforidua, that we should protect our environment. We should conduct ourselves well when it comes to the environment. We should know how to dispose of our refuse, get a bin indiscriminately, and also let's engage Zoomlion. Zoomlion is actively working and we are ready to support, keep the environment clean.
The Eastern Regional Environmental Health Officer, Prince Osaikisi, expressed appreciation to Zoomlion for responding promptly to their call for assistance. He said the fumigation exercise was crucial in helping to suppress pathogenic organisms and prevent the spread of diseases in the region.
This work or this activity that we are going to undertake is very, very crucial, especially following the flood incident that we recorded in almost about, I think, 7 districts nationwide. So it is a very crucial activity, and we thank Jospon Group of Companies, Zoomlion Ghana Limited, for coming to our rescue.
Some market women at the Koforidua Agatha Market also witnessed the exercise, expressed their gratitude while calling on the government to organize similar exercises regularly to help maintain a clean and healthy environment.
And in other stories, residents of Yeneso No. 1 and surrounding communities in the Achiwa Kwawuma district of Ashanti region are appealing to the government and relevant authorities to urgently reclaim abandoned illegal mining pits, which they say continue to pose serious threats to lives. According to the residents, several deep pits left behind by illegal miners remain uncovered and unreclaimed, creating dangerous death traps, particularly for children and unsuspecting residents.
Speaking to journalists about the concerns of residents of Yeneso No. 1 and surrounding communities over the impact of illegal mining on their environment and livelihoods, the assembly member for the area said the situation had worsened, with deep and uncovered mining pits continuing to pose a serious threat to residents. He said authorities had not demonstrated enough commitment towards addressing the problem and expressed concern about the increasing danger posed by the abandoned pits. According to him, one of the miners had voluntarily undertaken the reclamation of some of the abandoned pits without the involvement of the district assembly. He explained that some private initiative had so far covered only 3% of the affected pits, leaving the remaining 97% unreclaimed and posing a threat to residents.
Mining there, you could do a Kosowa, about Rebano, Galamsino, that's so Kosovo said. Abanda dala brand so na esi ekoso nala ensisa bia memu ne yonum no asensa asero asa nti baabi akane omudi kai ekata so de nyina no minus no so ahyase a wo musa so ekọ chire etuo.
The residents also disputed claims by the Achiwa Kwawuma District Assembly that reclamation exercises had commenced in the affected communities. They alleged that although the assembly had announced plans to reclaim some of the degraded lands, no meaningful reclamation exercise had taken place in Winniso No. 1 and surrounding areas. The residents further alleged that the assembly had been collecting about 45,000 Ghana cedis from some miners who own concessions in the area towards the reclamation of their mining sites. They claimed several miners had already made the financial commitment but were yet to see any corresponding reclamation work.
Now, NDC aban ba so yi omuma yenya nte say reclamation fee site owners ni nyina sika 450 million wantimi kura wotimi tua part up to now omuma kata so ade ni nyina ne say na mu ya na yete say one guy bi so abaji concession so o be kata so ni na minim so o be kata so wa kata so oba o diska je obia sika sa ana o masan so NDC ana say omomo de to operation yi for no and so back so o di machine bia wa ya do 400 million
Meanwhile, the Etrima Kwawuma District Chief Executive Grace Ajimana Samwa has denied allegations that the assembly has been collecting money from illegal miners for reclamation activities. She challenged anyone making such allegations to provide evidence or identify the individuals allegedly involved in collecting the money.
Ebeba a Lands Commission and a National Security for ena ebeye saa enhyehyeye no nti de minimum say beginning of the year no na nka ye stickers a omutwama drivers no ebi ena no me bat me stop we because of one or two things issue bi a crop up no me ma almost stop we nti na nka me pe wo mo so ma betua reclamation fee e wa ha na nka ba.
The residents are therefore appealing to the Ashanti Regional Minister and the Regional Security Council to treat the situation as an emergency and intervene to ensure that the abandoned mining pits are reclaimed before they claim more innocent lives.
Let's take a trip now to Rwanda as Vice President of Ghana, Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman, has called on Africans to abandon dependency and take greater ownership of the continent's development, saying Africa must move beyond having an Africa we want to building an Africa we work for. She made the call in Kigali, Rwanda, during the African Mindset Reset Forum, where she joined a deep dive conversation with Rwandan President Paul Kagame, former Ethiopian Prime Minister and former South Africa President Thabo Mbeki.
Speaking of the African Mindsets Resets Forum in Kigali, Rwanda, Professor Opoku-Agyeman said the continent's development challenges could not be explained simply by a lack of policies, plans, resources, or human potential. According to the Vice President, taking charge of Africa's future requires a fundamental shift from reliance on others to confidence in African expertise, institutions, and capabilities. She challenged the argument that Africa lacks the expertise needed to solve its development problems, asking why African countries could not train their own young people to become the experts required to drive transformation.
It is about taking charge of who we can be. It is not about others defining for us. We are talking about from Pan-Africanism to Meta-Africanism. Pan-Africanism was at some point a radical expression of continental unity for a reason. And the reason per force that continues to stay is how we can come together and do things for ourselves as a people. And that also takes root from taking charge of why we are even doing this and not extending research others have done. Otherwise, we'll come back here. So I want us to comment on the way in which we even conceive curriculum. So going forward, yes, we are here. Why are we here? Why do we have so much and yet we are so poor?
She also called for a rethink of how African education systems and curricula are designed, saying education should equip young Africans not only with knowledge, but also with the confidence and capacity to address the continent's challenges.
Paying attention to capacity building is important. That was why I was very interested in the school. So we are not raising our youth the same way that has brought us here. So how are we raising them differently? How are we teaching differently? With what, information in the, let's say, curriculum, for lack of a better word? How do we move from becoming a victim of this circumstance to an active, an agent of change? What will it take? Yes, it will take some courage, it will take some sacrifice, whatever, but you need to ensure that you are taking that decision. And you are not taking it because you alone think you are the only smart person to do it. No, you are taking it along with people who are going to work with you to realize that particular conclusion.
Professor Opoku-Agyeman also questioned the persistent claim that African countries lack the equipment and resources needed for development, urging policymakers to compare the cost of acquiring such capacity with the resources already spent supporting external systems.
And in politics, the race for the national chairmanship of the New Patriotic Party is heating up as former Energy Minister and aspiring national chairman Boakye Ejiako has officially filed his nomination and he's also presented his forms at the party headquarters in Accra. Accompanied by his campaign team, Boakye Ejiako urged all delegates to give him their vote as he's prepared to finish their job ahead.
Baby, I party a Gina, and in a year, and to dance a boa, I was here, Shishan from. And you know, 2028, I was here, Kotwaba, nearby power. Not Dr. Bawumia, the president. Nami Bonachidom as his national chairman. 2028, Sayempo, we have to win. Sayaba win Swa, and Yanomia were Juma Katraye. I was saying a Timisha party, no, Nejina Brian, Ejina and Naiso, no shaking. Near Shisha, and known as Dr. Bawumia Bejina so at the Akopre for 2028. Yan Shisha, yeah, and Yanum a Bejuragu. Mekai say, Mishia dog, and where ye biasi. And commodity even no beside me say, 2024 no, me won't say, me catch and say, the problem was that, or the issue was that NDC, they had a weak candidate, but they had a strong party. So the strong party carried a weak candidate into power. Our problem was that we had a strong candidate, but our party was weak, and therefore the party couldn't carry him across the finish line. Me Botaine said, me Boakye Ejiako, me Bashisha party no amene jina ye, ama Dr. Bawumia Timia Hure Esiso, Ejiako din kunindie our 2028. Yewia, I was a parliament to so ye peja yamu ye peja yamu send ye baya Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia na Jumano as president a bayamre mi wie sa jumaya enianom na manim se ma wie mi nyami juma for MPP.
And still on the New Patriotic Party, the National Communications Director, Mr. Richard Ahiagba, has called for the party to return to its grassroots foundation, saying its structures must be empowered and actively involved in its day-to-day operations. Mr. Richard Ahiangba, who is seeking the position of National First Vice Chairman of the party, said his decision to contest the position was driven by the desire to pursue reforms that would strengthen the MPP and deepen grassroots participation ahead of the 2028 general elections.
About a month ago, we selected constituency executives who are sitting on top of the grassroots. That's the polling station executives who are coordinated by the electoral area officers. And the constituency executives are supposed to manage the party. So the day-to-day workings of the party is to be led by the constituency executives working with the polling station executives who are the party. Unity is a function of discipline. And so in a party where there is discipline, which discipline is a product of equality, that everybody feels treated the same. People don't feel they are singled out for certain odd treatment and others are given better treatment. But they understand that in this party, what is right, what is wrong, and that if you do the right thing, you'll be commended. If you do the wrong thing, you'll be sanctioned. That brings unity and casting a vision that everybody has an appreciation for, which vision is simple, that we want to win and make Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia our flag bearer, the next president of the Republic. Right now, with our executives in place, and now we have the regional elections done, who are supposed to coordinate the constituencies in their regions, to begin work now so we can prepare ourselves and ready for the elections. I urge all delegates to vote for candidates that have shown commitment to the party, vote for candidates whose vision and message aligns with the direction the party wants to go. I think that when our delegates do that, my position to become the first vice national chairman of our party will be successful.
And away from that, Speaker of Parliament, Abang Bagbin, has admitted a minority motion seeking an investigation into the operations and alleged losses of the Ghana Gold Board.
There's a policy cost or economic loss. There's a loss. There is a loss. We have to find a way of either mitigating what constituted the loss or what promoted that loss. How do we mitigate that? Are we expecting 2026 to have the same losses, or what do we do? These are things that I think we should be focusing our attention on going forward. So I'm not surprised the Speaker has admitted it, and I'm happy the Speaker has done so. $1.7 billion loss is not chicken change.
And I've carefully looked through it, and there's no loss indicated in the books of the Gold Board. No loss at all. Okay? Indeed, everything here is positive. Everything that I've seen is positive. So in one breath, if you listen to the IMF, what they describe as loss is also described as cost. Every, without exception, has cost. There's no policy measure which is implemented without cost. It has cost. Should we then describe the cost as losses?
And that was Kwesi Pratt Jr. speaking on the Gold Board issue on Good Morning Ghana. And away from that, the Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Matilda Asante Asiedu, is calling for courageous and informed conversations about the future of banking in Ghana, warning that technology, artificial intelligence, and global uncertainties are reshaping the industry faster than ever before. She was speaking at an event organized by Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana in Accra.
At the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana Members Connect cocktail event in Accra, Matilda Asante Asiedu told top bankers and financial leaders that the pace of change demands bold thinking and professional dialogue. The second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana emphasized the importance of aligning banks with sustainable banking principles and integrating climate risk into governance and risk management structures. She officially launched the CIB Ghana Banker magazine, describing it as a valuable platform for knowledge sharing and industry insights.
One of the meetings we had, we call it top management meetings, and we had the artificial intelligence and AI team present their strategy to us on how AI is influencing banking and regulation generally. We also have evolving regulatory reforms, and the almighty geopolitical uncertainties reshaping banking faster than at any point in history. And this is precisely the reason why informed, courageous conversations about where the industry is going and how we prepare for it is critical. And we're really grateful to CIB for this Banker magazine.
Meanwhile, newly elected president of the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, Dr. Ellen Ohene Afuakwa, announced that Ghana has secured the hosting rights for the 2028 World Conference of Banking Institutes, a landmark achievement for the country's financial sector.
The 2026 edition of the Ghanaian Banker magazine reinforces CIB Ghana's position as a thought leader and a standard bearer for professionalism in banking. We have won for Ghana the hosting rights for the 2028 World Conference of Banking Institute. We look forward to your support, partnership, active participation, and together we will make the World Conference truly remarkable. When bankers connect with purpose, the entire banking industry and the economy moves forward.
Let's take a look now at the application of Ghana Passport, as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced a temporary suspension of Ghana's online passport application service following a technical fault affecting the passport application website. In a notice issued on August 25, 2026, the Minister for Foreign Affairs said the ministry's technical team was working closely with the National Signals Bureau to identify and resolve the problem as quickly as possible. The minister assured the public that efforts were underway to restore the online platform and also to enable applicants to resume their passport applications. The ministry also apologized to customers and members of the public for the inconvenience caused by the disruption. And away from that, the Dean of the School of Performing Arts at the University of Ghana, Dr. Cinnamon Kwashi Kumo, has issued an urgent appeal to the government, corporates, philanthropists, and the public for a new operational bus to support nationwide outreach programs. The request follows a devastating incident where the department's previous 16-seater bus caught fire and burnt to ashes en route to Winneba.
Since the loss, transporting students outside Accra for field presentations and educational tours has become severely compromised. Dr. Kwashi highlighted the department's critical need for support during a recent donation ceremony where alumnus Ira Adams Karim presented 260 chairs to the school.
The school has produced a good number of artists and creative individuals over the years. As I speak to you now, I am saddened in my heart because certain facilities that enable us to do outreach programs successfully are not in good shape. Particularly, currently, we don't have even a bus. We used to have a bus, a 60-seater Mercedes-Benz bus. But sadly, it got burnt into ashes. In fact, 260 chairs to us, something that we never even dreamt of. We believe strongly that with this spirit, we will have more philanthropists, potential donors who will come to our aid. We are really, really fired up, wanted to do outreach program, a lot of things that we need to do to educate Ghanaian society. We pray that we will have a bus. Whoever is willing to donate to us, we are willing to work with that person. And we thank you so much for considering us.
Adams urged fellow alumni both in Ghana and abroad to step forward and support their alma mater, particularly regarding the urgent vehicle request.
So for me, I think that generally my call would be that, of course, other old students who are out there, institutions out there, entities out there who can, should come and contribute their quota. You know, the arts plays a very important role in our society, and we cannot leave it to die. So we must all do our bit, contribute towards sustaining the art and keeping it alive. And the action today is basically geared towards that, and we're hoping that in the very near future we'll be able to do more. Such a school of this nature should not be without a bus. And so we'll definitely call out to the general public, call out to the government, of course, see how best we can support the school.
And away from that and looking straight to Hollywood, or let's take a trip down to Hollywood, President Donald Trump said he's ordered U.S. flags to be lowered across the country in honor of the late iconic country music star Dolly Parton, who died at 80 years old. Trump, in a social post shortly after Parton's death was announced, said he directed American flags to be lowered for the next week beginning. The death of the 11-time Grammy winner was confirmed on the 25th of August 2026 by her nephew Brian Sear on her official social media platform. Dolly Parton passed away in Nashville, but the cause of her death has not been disclosed. The Queen of Country Music is one of the most honored country performers in history. Parton received various recognitions, including 3 Emmy Awards and a Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award, along with nominations for 2 Academy Awards, 6 Golden Globe Awards, and a Tony Award. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has ordered flags to be lowered across the nation to honor Dolly Parton. And that's it for the midday news on Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Nana Kwesi. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Good Afternoon Ghana continues from here.
The pulse of a nation, rising, unshaken. When the Black Stars take the world stage, we don't just play, we bring the storm. Fuel the dream. Support the Black Stars. Storm Energy Drink. Make your mark. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy manful. Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man is swing, Nesasu Mama Hoto so a will bedroom.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Finding my dream apartment in just 2 days was a breeze with 7terragh.com. Looking for your next home, the perfect piece of land, or the best commercial property for your business? Are you worried about sending money home for property and finding nothing when you return? Well, worry no more. 7terragh.com is just a platform to find prime lands, perfect properties, or vibrant real estate development at the click of a button. 7terragh.com is your go-to property listing platform that allows you to register, list, rent, buy or sell, and connect with correct agents. With our AI-powered smart search, personalized dashboards, verified agent connection, and interactive property maps, all your property needs have been made easier. Check us out on 7terragh.com or contact us on 0302 998 246 or 0561 032 252. 7terragh.com, powered by MNC Properties.
Madam, I'm looking for Abena.
Abena, there's someone looking for you.
Madam, please, where's Abena?
Abena, yes, ma'am. Is this who you are looking for?
Madam, please get me Abena. Please.
Della. Abena, bra.
Oh, Abena. If it's not Abena rice, I can't eat any of that anymore.
Abena rice. And Niji Nkwa.
FDA, Ajadi in Kratz, Yatsum.
From the grandest stage, the badges change, but the passion remains. It's a special goal. What is the hour? Come is the man. This football is from the heavens. What a story this is.
10 months of drama lie ahead. The stage is set.
The biggest stars from the world's biggest leagues on SuperSport. It's on GoTV.
So, I have 10 Ghana cedis in my pocket. Now think about it. Now, if 10 Ghana cedis could buy you anything at all, what would you buy? I can think about so many things. Are you ready? Watch this space.
They should always keep the environment clean, and when they see anybody like dropping rubbish on the floor, they should tell the person to pick it.
Please, I learned that we should keep ourselves clean and neat, and we should also produce or act a good personal hygiene. Please, I would like to tell them that they should keep themselves neat and clean their environment.
Today, I learned about cleaning the environment and helping each other in everything we do. They should stop littering the environment and always clean and plant more trees.
We are nowhere close, and in order to whether get close or not, we need to first of all be honest with ourselves and assess the issue from the bottom. It seems we know our problems, but when it comes to how exactly we deal with our problems, they want to play around it. Ghana will be 70 years in the next 7 months. Let's forget about the SDGs. Ghana is turning 70. The reality on the grounds. As we speak, we talk about the silt in Nakole, but the gutters that are connected to Nakole are coming with filth. Where then do we go with achieving 2030 SDGs in 3 years? It is not possible. So we need a plan B and a possible plan C. A lot of young people are in this room unemployed. What is the best way to really put these guys in charge of their communities, give them the necessary resources so they deal with their problem from source? Then it makes it the better way forward. Because for me, as I sit here, what we do at Bastard Boys, I can honestly tell you, without fear or favor, that we are nowhere close getting to the sanitation problem. As we speak, the mindset, which is the origin of all the problem, we are not tackling it. We have community police who are assisting police in arresting drivers. They are supposed to go in the communities, educate the people. Educate the people, and that is the foundation to which we can work getting close to the sustainable development. In this room, everybody have a bottled water. Let's see how many of them will carry their bottled water when they are leaving. So the mindset is the core foundation of every human problem, and until we get there and follow it with honesty, and the fact that 100 years from now, nobody will be in this room, everything we are talking about is going to be about history, and therefore we need to be honest with ourselves to the core and deal with the foundation. Nakole, among the many water bodies that gives us dignity, that gave us respect, and nothing to write home about. But we go to elsewhere and we appreciate River Nile. River Nile is equal as Nakole, so we should begin to deal with the issues to the roots. Put partisanship aside, whether MPP or NDC. Whatever we experienced on 29th June, the flood was not asking for party cards. Right. So let's find a way to deal with our issues and deal with it in honesty.
Thank you.
All right, so that was the founder and leader of the Bastard Boys, Heneba Kwadwo Sarfo, speaking there at the Clean Conference that was held on Friday, the 21st of August, organized by the Ignite Media Group, Metro TV, Original 91.9 FM, and of course Metro Digital. And then you saw earlier the kids who came for the conference and what they had learned from the program, and that's the impact that we wanted to make with that conference. And we're glad that everybody came and supported the program and was a part of it. And we'll still actually stay with the Clean Conference and the recap and aftermath of that, because it's very important. We cannot just go and sit and talk 3 hours, 4 hours. We need to continue the education, and we have actually vowed here on Metro TV that we will continue the discussion on how we manage waste and the drive towards the SDG goals, which the deadline is just around the corner in 2030. And the big question again that we asked on the day was that will Ghana be able to achieve those SDGs by 2030? Is that something that we can do? Well, the big answer in the room was no. So it means that we need to continue with the education and also with those who are in charge of policy making, so that we can all together possibly reach the goal, just a little bit of that. If not, we look for a plan B, a plan C, and work on that. So welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro TV. I am Desmond Okrekudanso, and this program is live on Facebook and also on YouTube at Metro TV Ghana, DSTV channel 277. We're live on there, and my colleague Nana Kosikotia brought us the news updates. Now we're going to get into some conversations as we wrap up at 2 p.m. here on the show. Today, we'll be talking about public health. It's very important, and we're having a conversation about the rise in non-communicable diseases as we're seeing, and the measures that is being put in place for that. And Ghana is currently facing a rise in non-communicable diseases, and it's become a challenge when it comes to food security and also deficiencies in our foods and several other things that we need to talk about. And so today, joining me in studio, I have these experts in that field to help us understand that and the measures that are being put in place to mitigate the rise as we're seeing. So Desmond Pakwesi-Hackman is a Senior Regulatory Officer, Food and Drugs Authority, and is also a registered dietitian. And also James Makion-Amwa is a registered nurse and global public health practitioner with the Ghana Public Health Association also. So this is a very important conversation. Anything that bothers on health, it is important. So let's get into it right away. And then later, we'll get into other conversations as we'll speak to the Lions Club, who supported us on the day at the Clean Conference last Friday. We'll get to hear from them also and some other issues. And I've seen on social media that the New Patriotic Party, as some of the aspirants are filing their nominations, we've seen videos on social media where there seems to be a misunderstanding, some sort of fight happening at the head office. We would interrogate that. We'll try and get some answers on that. But for now, let's talk about health. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Right. So, registered dietitian, because these days, I've been very critical about what I eat.
And you should. Yeah,
I have been. And many a times in your work, do you think Ghanaians understand that what I eat is important, or just for the feeling of the day, let me just eat this?
They do. The Ghanaian who will not be particular about the diet they are eating when all is well with them, will be so particular when they are ill and they are told, or when there's a need, when someone presents them with fruit. If you notice, or what I know, and I'm sure most Ghanaians can identify with this, anytime someone is sick, it's easier for someone to think that, oh, let me go and give the person fruit. When someone is not feeling well and it's suffering symptoms of cold, what do they think about? Oh, I need to go and take fruit. Orange. That means that they appreciate that food, the medicinal properties of food cannot be underestimated. In fact, it is said that the father of Western medicine has opined that let food be thy medicine and medicine thy food. Meaning that he appreciated, even though he put together what today is being practiced as medicine, he appreciated that food is that indispensable in ensuring that you don't even end up at the hospital in the first place for medicine. So yeah, I know that the Ghanaian appreciate what food does to them. I know they do. But what the Ghanaian may lack is how to eat the food, even when to eat it. That's where public health experts, including dietitians, come in.
Okay, right. Interesting one there. Because when we wake up in the morning, we know the foods. I mean, before we wake up, we know, okay, I want to eat this.
Yeah.
But as to, you know, the portion or how to make it nutritious enough.
Yeah.
You know. And James, you are a nurse.
Yeah.
So when people do not eat well, they
the
force it, and then they come to you.
Exactly.
What do you see about that also? You know, in terms of people who are sick who come to the hospital and you attend to them, and you try to talk to them about food and, you know, what they eat and all of that before you even get into the non-chemical.
So you see, when we talk about health,
right,
it's a state of complete well-being of somebody, not just the absence of disease. So someone may not have headache, may not have diarrhea, but the person may not be well. So as nurses and other healthcare professionals, we look at two things: preventive health, health promotion, and then curative. So before the person gets to us in a state of being sick, what should the person do? And that's why I have this conversation to help us what we can do to prevent them from getting sick. Once you are sick, you get to the hospital, then all of us come together. So dietitians have the role to play, doctors have the role to play, nurses have the role to play, others have the role to play to ensure that at the end of it all, we bring you back to the good health that you were in. There's a point you made, which is very true. When somebody is sick and they visit the hospital, they give food, banana, apples, and the others. When they are celebrating their birthday, they give them drinks, cake, and those things that will either make you sick. So people, it's about having more education on this. We must eat well, eat the right amount of food, eat the food that will give you health, but not anything that goes into your stomach is food. Some are not food. They're just going to poison your system and get you sick.
We'll get into that conversation. Let's finish with the non-communicable disease, because I have a lot of questions. Some people also think that the foods that we're supposed to eat to be healthy are quite expensive. If you look at some things that people mention, you know, it's not easily accessible, you know, to one's here for the ordinary home to be able to get that. But we'll get into that later. But I'm reading here that in Ghana, non-communicable diseases are responsible for 43% of all deaths. And these conditions are heart diseases, stroke, diabetes, cancer, and chronic respiratory diseases. Hey.
So those are diseases that do not pass on from one person to another.
Okay.
It contrasts with the infectious diseases, so HIV, malaria, cholera, and the others. But things turned when suddenly, because of the advancement of science, vaccines, and all the other health programs, we realized that the infectious diseases were dropping. And now the diseases that are related to lifestyle were going up.
So basically, non-communicable diseases are lifestyle.
If you want to reduce it to a layman's understanding, we want lifestyle. Though it's bigger than that, because there are some diseases that are not, I mean, like injuries. All right, they are all captured under non-communicable disease. But what we are talking about, which constitute a greater portion of non-communicable disease, are diet-related non-communicable disease. So those are the ones that are lifestyle, and those are attributed to unhealthy diet.
Okay.
Tobacco use. All right. That is, if you want to extend it, like the major causes of non-communicable disease, unhealthy diet. We'll delve into that. Tobacco use, harmful use of alcohol, and then the inactivity. And you know, if you look at all these, you realize that there'd be a marked change in how we used to be. I mean, how we used to eat. Our exposure to tobacco. Remember, the exposure does not only include the person who is taking it, but secondarily consuming it. Physical activity. If you ask an average Ghanaian how well they have exercised, and exercise does not mean necessarily running, jogging, but even exposing yourself so that your body is able to sweat. Any activity that your body is able to sweat, at least you can count it as a physical activity. You realize that the shorter distance will want to go with the vehicle because it's a sign of good living. I don't want to be seen as the one walking, all that. All right. So you realize that there's a gradual change in these lifestyle, and that has accounted strongly for this.
Wow.
And this also add
go ahead, James.
So 43% death, but if you go to our hospitals, almost 50% of those who are sick at the OPD on the wards are from non-communicable diseases. So you can go to any OPD, do a survey. Those who come with hypertension, diabetes are more than those who come with diarrhea, hepatitis, and the others. And he mentioned about the food, inactivity, tobacco. The other thing is that we're having an aging population. So the more you age, your risk factor for NCDs increase. So, and you know, Ghanaians now are life expectancy is around 67 years. But the point is saying that we are getting more younger people getting NCDs than the elderly.
I was coming to that because we were making reference to many years ago. In fact, it happens all the time. There's always reference made to many years ago. Stroke, all of those things.
Yes.
What changed, James?
So the younger people now are not living healthy. You can do a quick survey, walk in the evening and see those who are drinking in those pubs, those who are eating junk food in the night, those who are engaging in all other lifestyle are mostly young people. The second point is that there are many young people who take so many risks. How many of us are able to have good quality sleep about 7 hours in the night? We are not having that. So our body is always on the edge. So we are so stressed from work. We are so stressed with our phones and social media. So we are having less amount of rest. How many of us are drinking enough water? How many young people are saying, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to walk a number of steps to ensure that I'm well? If somebody gets here and there's an elevator and a stairs, how many people are going to use the stairs? Very few. All of us use the elevator. So we need to see that there's been a transition on how we used to live our lives those years. We need to go back to it. Eat right, drink more water, exercise your body, don't drink alcohol. You used to say a small amount of alcohol is good for your body, but now the WHO says that no amount of alcohol is good for your body.
You know,
so no alcohol at all should be consumed.
So that's what mentioned the 4 points, right? Harmful use of alcohol, tobacco use, inactivity.
Yes, unhealthy diet.
And unhealthy diet. So let's make them one after the other. So we have enough time to be able to break that down. Because this is important.
Very important.
I'm thinking in my head what I've been through in a couple of days. So I really need this. So let's begin from unhealthy diet.
Yeah.
So some say you don't skip breakfast. Others say eat breakfast. Do intermittent fasting. And what really should it be, or what is the right measure of a healthy, diet or lifestyle in that sense?
So as I'm sure you know better, you know the 5 wives principle you use in journalism, right? So we'll start with the what?
Yeah.
It's the biggest. When we say unhealthy diet, it means that the diet is high in diet-related risk factors and low in health-promoting factors. So what are the diet-related risk factors for diseases, for NCD? We're referring to saturated fat. Saturated fat is found in foods that are fried, foods that are mostly found in the restaurant chains. I want to be specific because that is where the most of it is recorded today.
And you're also the FDA, so you know some of these things.
Of course, beyond every, I wouldn't even say because of the FDA, all right, but because I am a dietitian.
Okay.
If you say the FDA, it means that the FDA is checking the composition of the diet at the restaurant. FDA doesn't do that. FDA checks the practices within the environment.
Okay. If it ticks the box, that's fine.
Right. So saturated fat. You also have trans fat mostly in such foods, very high in such foods. But beyond that, outside that area, fried foods also contribute a lot to saturated fat. And then what happens in our homes where we reuse oils? Okay. Have you wondered how many times the oil with which your fried yam, potatoes, and plantain, how many times it has been used? The average Ghanaian seller will not use it once, will not use it twice, will not use it thrice. Even when they feel that I overused it, what would they use it for? Shit up.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially when it's fish.
Okay.
When it's fish, because of the flavor aroma that they use it for. Shit up. Now these are areas where trans fat are found. Trans fat is linked directly to heart diseases, and we are talking about NCDs. One of them, the major one, in fact, the most important, when we say most important, the one in the highest amount, heart diseases or cardiovascular disease. So that's about trans fat and saturated fat. Then we have sodium intake.
So just also say this, so food that is high in fat is considered unhealthy. That's what you're trying to say.
Okay.
All right, so let's be honest.
Sodium, high sodium intake. So generally, all right, the average Ghanaian thinks of sodium, when we say sodium, we have to tell them that it's salt. But you see, sometimes when we limit it that way, we also don't grow and appreciate the nutrition education.
Yeah.
So it's good to a Ghanaian to appreciate that when we say sodium, we're referring to other areas apart from table salt.
Okay.
Now, in our homes, ordinarily, we take more salt than we are supposed to take. An average adult, someone who doesn't have any illness at all, must take 1 teaspoon of salt the whole day. So imagine the foods you eat from morning to evening. That is how much? 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. But imagine that, how many you've taken. That is table salt. Meanwhile, there are many other sources of sodium. Salt is a problem because of the sodium in it, sodium chloride. So the sodium in it is a problem. Meanwhile, there are other many sources of sodium. And here I have to go back to the bougie foods, the restaurant foods. They use a lot because of it improves the palatability of the food. It gives it sometimes shelf life, extends it, for a certain period, all that. So a lot, you get a lot from there. And meanwhile, high sodium intake has been linked to hypertension. Hypertension is one of the main causes of heart diseases. So then it's spelled out there. Now, alcohol. As he said, previously we will say that, in a week, you take 14 units of alcohol or 14 drinks. That can be measured. So dietitians were helping people who cannot stop alcohol to take a certain portion within a week. Then WHO said, no, we've realized that there's no safe amount. So in the UK, they're actually pushing that agenda a lot to them. And we should be able to tell our people that as much as it's fanciful, it's bougie to belong, with all the fanciful names you give the drinks, let's appreciate that it is one of the main reasons why we are having kidney diseases, we are having heart diseases in younger people. Because it's almost certain that if the one who doesn't take the drink at all in the week, by the weekend, you have to do something. It has to be alcohol, all that. Okay. And then sugar, which is the biggest. Please, if I tell you to go out there and count the number of sugar-sweetened beverages, I'm sure remotely, all right, leisurely, I'm sure you will get like thousands of them. And they are growing every day. Ask yourself, what is in there? It's just water, sugar, CO2, the one that gives the carbon dioxide, that gives the effervescence, that. Now you see, the average Ghanaian does not take that just normally as a snack. They will eat that in addition, they will take it as an accompaniment to their food. That is too much sugar for the body to take. Within a short time, your body is supposed to produce insulin. Insulin comes by proportion. With time, you are overworking the production site for insulin. And so, in no time, a young person who ordinarily would have maybe gotten, you mentioned old age, would have gotten the diabetes in an older age. Now is getting it. There's instances where a father, mother, and then a child are both come to the hospital with diabetes. So
I really appreciate this breakdown that you've done for us. So saturated fat, sodium intake, alcohol, sugar, these. Let me come to you, James, with the inactivity. I know that our system has been built in a way that is contributing to this. Because like the average Kenyan would leave home at 4 a.m., stay out the whole day, get back. In fact, 4 a.m., you'd get to, so that's not enough sleep. And then if you wake up maybe 6, you'll be late. So you'll be stuck in traffic for 2 hours before you get to work. Stay at work and close at 4. You'll be stuck in traffic from 4 to 6 or 7 or 8. You go to Circle, you still see people standing there at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, looking for a car to go home. Then they'll get home again at 10 p.m. Then they will eat
and sleep.
And have to wake up, and the cycle continues. Can we do anything about this?
So physical activity is not only about jogging and running and going to the gym. Just be active. Keep moving. So someone like this, for example, he has to walk from his house to the bus station. So he can take the bus to Circle, walk to the office if the office is closer, right? Get to the office, use the stairs, walk and go and buy food. If I have to call someone in the next room, I'll rather walk to the person and call the person. I need to print something. I'll just keep moving. Then once you do this, you can also decide to do either before you sleep or early in the morning, about 10 to 15, maximum 30 minutes exercise. Just skip. Just jump, just dance. You can do all of those in the course of the week. Then weekends, you have some days off, which you have enough rest. And then in the course of the weekend, engage in an activity. You can play football with some people. If you can, join some Keep Fit club, go to the gym, do something that to make you active. You have a car, wash your own car. Don't take it to the washing bay. Clean your own house. Stand on things and clean the cobweb. Don't get people to be doing that for you. If you have to wash yourself, dry them. As you do that, they're all part of
just
activity.
get involved in any form of activity
and
that'll make you move.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just to add a little, I started a community where I was preaching or helping them with their diet and lifestyle to lose weight. And I introduced their dancing. It's fanciful now, online to dance because of TikTok. Dancing is a very effective form of physical activity. You can do right there in your home, in your little space, single room, and you enjoy the excellent benefit of any physical activity. And remember, physical activity is not only necessarily because of losing weight. It helps with general well-being because the body is built to be active, to always be marching and not to sleep. That is why even when you sleep, the body is still working. The heart never stops. The brain never stops.
Okay.
You can still scratch your back whilst you're asleep. Means that your body is never asleep. So your body should always be in an active mode.
Okay. So that's with the inactivity. So with the club, is it still open? Because I have Derek Adote needs to join the club. My producer needs to join.
I'll be happy to have it
and dance.
I'll be happy to have it.
You can lose a bit of the weights there, but this is a very serious thing. People raise concerns that are you saying that if we do all of these things, we will never have any of these diseases that we're talking about?
It's a very good question.
The risk will go down.
Okay.
Right. So as we are as human beings, our bodies, we are mortal beings. The body goes through breakdowns. There are genetic predispositions in us. Some of us have family lines with genetics predisposition. Something must trigger that. So I may have my father who has hypertension, but I'll never get hypertension. Because if I don't live, I don't take too much salt, I don't do things that will trigger the hypertension, I'll never get it. So you might do all of this, but you could get some genetic predisposition that can trigger that. So I have a patient who just took a painkiller and got kidney failure. So the person had a risk, but that painkiller triggered that. But if you don't follow what we've spoken about, then it's automatic that you get sick. But then you are increasing your risk of you developing that particular condition.
Okay.
So nobody should say, I know somebody who never drank alcohol, who never did, but the person fell sick. There could be other factors. Had the person drank alcohol and do the things we are speaking about, you'll have gotten a disease much earlier or might have died earlier than the time that you saw the person.
Okay. So then that point is flawed in that sense.
It's very flawed.
There's this principle, like this maxim, that we say that it is not that it runs to your family. It is rather that you don't run. Your family does not run. Meaning that your family is not doing the right thing. It's not that it runs to your family, so I'll get it. No, there's always a break. Somebody who is doing the right thing or who is erring on the side of caution. And so they are always different from the family. Everybody else is big, but they are not. And you wonder, what happened? Maybe the person doesn't like food. Maybe it's not a good thing not to like food. But that is telling you that maybe something may have changed. Or it's, the genes are like switch. So it turns on and off depending on the environmental factors that you expose it to. The alcohol, the saturated fat, and all the other factors. So it means that it is possible that you can be in a family where you are having all these non-communicable diseases. However, you could be the bridge if you keep to healthy living.
Yeah.
But as you continue, your children will also come and then continue, and you break that chain.
Okay. Well, if you just tune in, we're talking about non-communicable diseases and the surge in that. So on social media, you may have seen a lot of people, flyers posted about people, hypertension, heart diseases, stroke, and all of that. And for me, this is worrying because we are young people and we're expected to live life and live what we're supposed to do to impact others, and we cannot do that if we are ill. If we cannot live for a very long time as it is. So now I'm going to do consultancy. You're going to do consultancy.
All right.
So as we talk about so someone will ask that. So how then should I cook my food? You're talking about the salt.
Yeah.
We'll cook in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening.
Yeah.
We'll need salt for all of that. How do we handle that?
So, because it's mostly impractical that you eat all the time from the home throughout the week. So let me use the opportunity to tell our food vendors, as much as possible, prepare the food that you wish to eat yourself. Do not use ingredients that are substandard, that are spoiled, that are nearing spoilage. Recently, the FDA had to come up with a communique and then run it over and over that do not use the flood-affected food products. Sometimes we are wicked to ourselves. Let's treat ourselves well, like the way we want to be treated. So let's use ingredients that are safe. That's number one. A healthy food must always be safe first. That is the first principle. So basically, when I was growing up, I was one of 5 children. My mom would say that you learn to wash your hands first before you prepare food. Let's do that. It breaks or limits the exposure to microbes. And then as far as the food is concerned, please, the too much salt is not only in the table salt, but it's also in the spices. Today, they are all over the place. But let's know that we have local spices you can use that are safe. They don't have the high amount of sodium. I don't want to mention names of the commercial seasoning, but then the local spices, ginger, arewa,
garlic,
yes, nutmeg. These are local or these are natural spices you can use to improve. My mom says that using so much onion even can make your stew, sweet or nice. So let's keep to natural or the local spices and limit or avoid those ones. That's one way to reduce the sodium intake. One way to reduce. And then do not put sodium into food at table. When you finish preparing the food, don't say that the salt is not tasty, so you're adding salt. That is a dangerous practice. Because that means you're going to take the full complement of that salt you're taking. Meanwhile, if it were in a bigger bowl, it would have spread and you take a little at a time. And then let's limit the intake of fried foods. In place of fried, boil. It is possible that you get the same taste, you get the same flavor. I know that fried foods are palatable, but you see, it's almost certain, or it's certain as day, and as night and day will happen, that anything which is tasty, palatable, always come with the potential risk. So they say, So let's limit the intake of these foods, especially those in the restaurant chains. And let's learn to also eat from the home and appreciate that the Ghanaian foods, the indigenous Ghanaian foods, have been proven as very healthy compared to the commercial ones.
So can I just say
James,
that?
add that, and you can also talk about the sodium.
So in the prevention of NCDs, right? As we see it in two folds. One,
the sugar I meant, sorry.
Yes, the individual has a duty to change his lifestyle. That's the choice the person must make. I want to live long. I don't want to be sick and spend all my money in the hospital. I don't want to die earlier than my children. So I'm going to make a personal choice to live healthy. So no alcohol, no too much drinking, the things we've spoken about. Then there are things that the state must do to help the individual to be able to live healthy. And that's one of the things we'll be discussing in this conversation about which policies can we put in place that will force the Ghanaian to make the right choice in terms of what he should eat and what he shouldn't eat. Just to mention the one as an example, in this policy we work on, which is called the front of pack labeling policy, which is with the government, and we expect the government to be able to implement it quickly and get it for us to use. It will help our food environment. If I go to the shop and I see so many different drinks or different cans with products, how do I know this one is healthy and this one is not? Ordinarily, they've written some ingredients on it. And they've written what they can write, maybe sodium this, potassium this, sugar this, that. But what does it mean? An average person may not be able to read and understand. If I see 9 calories, what does 9 calories mean? But there's this policy saying that we're going to have tax on it, red, yellow, green. So if I see red, it means that it's not healthy. When I see yellow, it means it is kind of weak. If I see green, it is good as the one I should go in for. We expect the government to have this policy in so that everybody, every Ghanaian, whether educated or not, you'll be able to make a choice about what to buy and what not to buy. So we are speaking more about what the individual should do. But what should the state also do to protect
the state has a responsibility
to protect the people.
The people.
Exactly.
Right. So front of pack labeling.
That's what I just spoke about. So once it is that, it becomes mandatory. If you go outside the country, most countries, the Western world, they have that. You can even bread on the shelf has the red, yellow, green on it. So if I'm going to buy bread, I know this bread has high fat, and so it is red. This one has a lot of wheat, has very less amount of fat, and so it is green. I'll go and buy the one that is healthier than the one that is not healthy. And we expect that one that is past, all the processed food we have in the restaurant, in our market, even though that is sold in the street, even from the child, I know if it is red, I won't go there. If it is green, I'll go there. And that's what can help me make the right choice when it comes to the food I should eat.
Right, and there's also the policies really that the government should
So just to try and then, add on to what he said. So, the foods, for now, the policy is going to cover a specific type of foods.
Okay.
We are yet to, extend it to those we call the food service establishment or the food vending. That means the wachi seller or the restaurant. Now, the policy would cover specifically the processed foods, the one that FDA has oversight.
Okay.
And then so those foods are very critical in NCDs because of how we've transitioned from traditional to the quote-unquote Western diet, and which mostly are linked or have something to do with the shelf foods. Those in the shops. So as he said, Ghana is thinking of an insignia, a symbol that would clearly tell you, and we have adapted an international policy of trying to improve diet, and that's why we have the front of pack labeling. However, we have localized, so we've adapted it, we've localized it such that it will be easier for the average Ghanaian to be able to identify this food is high in sugar, high in fat, high in salt, so that easily they can identify such foods. Beyond that, there's another policy. We know the power of advertisement or promotion. It's easier for you to go to buy a particular food because everybody's talking about it. There's a popular drink that today everybody else is thinking about because it's been patronized by a lot of people, right? Now, knowing very well the power of advertisement, another policy that would be introduced is food marketing restrictions. So just as we have, FDA has been regulating alcohol advertisement. I'm sure you know that. So there's a period from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. That is when you cannot advertise alcohol. We are thinking about the most vulnerable groups, children particularly, that would have to restrict their exposure to advertisement of some of these NCD-related risk factors, so sugar, salt, and all that, so that they wouldn't have to, force their parents. Now, children have what we call pestering power. They'll pester you to buy it for them. So we want to limit that exposure. And then we have food procurement policy.
Can I say a word about the marketing? So it's not only about TV, radio, social media, even billboards.
Okay.
Sometimes visit some hospitals, and then you see some insignias even on the door. Those from those who produce soft drinks.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So if the person has his poster over there, or has sponsored the facility, and they have their placard over there, everybody will tend to go and buy it. So it will affect them also. Schools, it will be said that say 200 meters from a school, senior high school, from crèche even to senior high school, there should be none of these advertisements closer to them.
Okay.
Because the more you see, the more you are tempted to go buy. So or apply all the noodles and all other things that are not healthy. All be applied. It's no list of drinks. Every food that's not healthy will have to go under this marketing restriction. And then we're going to talk about the procurement.
But then the question that people ask, because you're telling us about the sugar, you're telling us about the sodium and all of those things. They now pass through the FDA. You'd have to give them the approval.
Exactly.
So the question will be, so this is not good. Why are you?
I know we always ask that question.
Yes. Then why should it be on the market?
Why does FDA give market authorization for tobacco, alcohol, knowing very well that it costs all these things, right? One thing that I want every Ghanaian who's listening today to appreciate is that the FDA's work is an interplay, a very good interplay of science and law.
Okay.
So the science is what helps us to be able to tell that, to ensure that food is safe or any of our regulated products are safe for use. are efficacious in the case of drugs, and then are of good quality. It's the science that helps us, but it is the law that makes us buy it when some people are not, or some persons are going contrary to the law. So without a legal framework, it is impossible to say that, to arbitrarily say that the food is high in sugar.
Okay.
Remember, there's also a law that permitted the production of that product.
Yeah.
We have standards in Ghana, which are produced by Ghana Standards. The standard guides the production of these products. Now, if the FDA sits and say that, oh, the food is high in sugar, and so we're not going to permit it for sale, that is ultra vires to Ghana Standards, which are also legal documents. So what we need, and that's where there's a project. So all these policies we are mentioning are birthed from a project called the Healthier Diets for Healthy Lives. Thanks to Professor Amos Lau of the University of Ghana, he had the contract. Sorry, he had the award, the grant. And then, he got all the interested parties in Ghana, including the ministries and then the agencies involved, to come together. Now, the idea is that we've been able to establish an evidence. The evidence is from is what we call the nutrient profiling system, a tool, or let's say like a software. Let's reduce it to a software that will help us to, scientifically and objectively determine that this bottle of soft drink is unhealthy. So it's not arbitrary. It is from science, it's from objectivity. That has been developed. It is being localized for the Ghanaian food environment because we use Ghanaian data.
Okay.
Out of that, now we are able to implement those policies. So he mentioned the front of pack warning label, where you see a warning and it tells you that, no, be careful.
You shouldn't buy this.
Yes. But then beyond that, see, there's one thing I want to add. We also encourage or incentivizing healthy foods. So healthy foods are the ones that are high in fiber. They are low in the sugar and all the things I've mentioned.
Right.
Those foods that are almost in their natural state, almost in an unprocessed state. We're encouraging, especially fruit and vegetables. If you ask a Ghanaian how many pieces of fruit they've eaten a week, I'm sure that you'll be surprised. No, none. So we're also incentivizing, the policy will incentivize the production or the sale of such foods. All right. So we mentioned front of pack labeling, food marketing restriction, that is the promotion aspect, the advertisement bit. Now there's also food procurement policy. When government has power to purchase food for its agencies, for its people, in terms of when there's an emergency, food are supplied to people. What food do they give the people? When COVID came and government was supplying food, what food did government give? School feeding program. What food is fed? Even within the state agencies, the MDAs, what food do we give our people when it is end of year, when they are having their meetings? You'll be surprised that you go for a health meeting and then we are serving sugar sweetened beverage and meat pies. That must change. So that's what the policy is trying to. That policy is restricted to government, but we're also encouraging those in the private sector to institute same. So here could do that.
Okay.
So
James, here you wanted to add a point.
Yeah. So one thing you mentioned about is the government procurement, public procurement, which is mentioned, including our churches and our hospitals. But there's a last policy which we need to mention, very important, which is called the food-related fiscal policies, where we use taxes to discourage people from buying certain foods. So, an example would be this: we see this particular food is unhealthy. How do you get people not to go and buy? Let's increase the price.
Make it more expensive.
Once it's more expensive, people will not buy. And the ones that are not buying, their risk reduces, and then they can make another healthier choice. So through that, we ensure that we have some of these sugar-sweetened beverages, sugar drinks, or the prices go up, and those who produce this unhealthy food in that restaurant will have those tax also. For example, you go to any of these restaurants and you pick their receipt, you see COVID levy, you see other levies in there, tourism levy, and that they're all meant to make it expensive so that people will not go and buy them. So people usually complain it's going to collapse jobs and make people lose their job, but that's not the case. If your product is not healthy and we are not buying, produce healthier ones and let us buy.
Okay.
And that's what is going to be the motivation for people to end up buying the healthier food.
Okay, right. So as we've talked about the ones that are not healthy, you'd have to give us an alternative, really.
Right. The healthy ones.
Yeah, the healthy ones. Someone mentioned in my ear that now the young people are eating loaded fries.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. See this 15 cities promo that came.
You see, we're scrambling. So people are literally dying to go for foods that will literally lead them there. So you are on the highway to again.
So then because of the cost, it means that because it's expensive, they can't buy. But if it's always 15 cities, they'll all rush and go and buy.
No, but if it's expensive and someone wants to buy, the person can still buy it.
But see, money, when you have money, you determine what to use the money for. But before you determine what to use the money for, you look at all your needs.
James, do you know how much loaded fries cost? Loaded fries cost.
That's what I'm saying, that when these policies come and the cost increases, so there's evidence to suggest. I mean, what we did in 2023, we brought through government, got the sugar sweetened beverage tax passed, which moves our drinks by 20% increase. There's evidence from GRA that the money we are raking from them has increased, all right, but the consumption has reduced. Which means that if we keep increasing the cost of all of these food items, which are unhealthy, go to our shop. For example, let's say a bucket of the French fry is 150 cedis.
You know, James.
How many people are going to afford that?
Unfortunately, the policy, as I mentioned, does not cover those foods, and so that's why unfortunately, for now, the policy only covers what we call prepackaged foods, the foods that have labels, those that are found on the shelves. We are yet to cover those, and so what we'll say to people is that those foods, as much as food must be enjoyed because they are tasty, know that they have their consequences, and so they should limit intake.
So whatever you put into your body, there's a consequence.
So you're talking about healthy ones. Healthy ones, the first and foremost, and which Ghanaians we all are, we do very poorly. Fruits and vegetables. So it's not enough to say that, I have tomatoes. So in virtually all the meals that I ate, so that equates to vegetable. No, that is not enough. For all you know, that substance that was used wasn't even really tomatoes. Was something else that was put there. Today we have tomato mix, all right? Tomato mix is not the same as tomato paste. So you should know that the quantity of the tomatoes in there are not enough.
Very small.
So what we are saying that be intentional about fruits and vegetables. I wish to wake up one day and see Ghanaians who are very particular about, yes, I'm scrambling to go and buy vegetables in the evening or early in the morning. There was this practice that started, I think it's still running, or people are still vending the vegetable and then the bread in the morning. Or people have packed vegetables and fruits. Let's stick to those. Let them be fanciful. Know that fruits and vegetables provide, in fact, enough of the micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. And most importantly, fiber. Fiber has so many good properties, and which helps in helping control some of the other NCD-related risk factors. There's the salt, the sugar, and then the saturated fat. All right. So that's the first two I'll mention.
I was just looking at the high fiber because it looks like it comes up a lot. So the beans, oats. So
the whole
Ghana, of course, beans
belongs to Ghanaians. All right. And you remember, our foods, our staples. All right. Yam, the plantain, kontomire, boko boko, alefu. All these are, that's why I generally said that let's inch back. Let's go back to the foods that we grew up on. Right. Unfortunately, the Gen Zs will say that I didn't grow up on that.
Yeah, they don't like that.
The parents, let's encourage people to go back to those foods because those ones helped us a lot. They have a lot of the fiber and they are almost their natural state. We say they are minimally processed because they've just been cooked.
Because the other point is that people say it's expensive. But see, you can choose to eat the food that's in season. When mango is in season, eat more mangoes. When oranges come, eat more oranges. And you don't need to eat, someone say, I can't afford to buy 50 cedis of banana. But 2 or 3 fingers of banana in a day. Get orange, get pineapple, you get all the vitamins you need. So you can start to give me 5 different fruits a day.
Yeah, 5
something.
5 sevens. So it means that fruits and vegetables, so that is apportioned.
So you can say, okay, I'll take watermelon in the morning. When you do banana, 1 or 2 fingers, get oranges, get mango and pawpaw. You can't just be taking that.
Do we have to eat in the morning, the afternoon, and in the evening? should it be that? Because some also make the argument you've got to let your stomach go flat a little bit and, you know, eat later. Some of these things.
You know that question. So, I mean, I get that confusion all the time. Oh, they are saying that you should do intermittent fasting. That means don't be eating intermittently.
Yeah.
And then, but what I always say is that always count the number of hours you went fasting, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And I mean, when I say unintentionally, sleep is a form of fasting.
Yeah, okay.
Because your body is still working, though the level of physical activity is very low, but count it as a time.
No, it's part of it. You come to work, you're moving up and down, you even forget to eat.
So that is one way for you to be triggered to eat. I will always say that even if you want to lose weight, rather make sure that you have your breakfast, so that at least it helps you to go through the day whilst your brain is alert. They say a hungry man is an angry man because the brain is very selfish. It consumes more than 75%, close to 75% of the glucose or the sugars or the carbohydrate that we take. All right. So that means that when you're not eating, sometimes some of the things that attitudes you may exhibit at work could be related to that.
Because you are hungry.
So I always say, even if you want to lose weight, I mean, you are better off eating breakfast. Some will say that I'm not able to eat breakfast. No, everything is a habit. The body is such that it is very amenable to change.
Okay.
And let's just say that with how many times it depends on how many times you are awake. So if you sleep for 7 hours, right, out of 24 hours, you have a number of hours left. What work do you do? They all must factor into what you
so
eat.
let me take Jennifer. If Jennifer has a morning shift or the control room guys have a morning shift where they are picked up around 4 a.m., 5 a.m. and get to work.
What was the last meal they had? Or what time they had their last meal?
Okay.
So if they count, say they had their last meal at 6. So when you wake up in the morning at 6, at 6, that's the last time you ate. So when you wake up in the morning at 6, know that for 12 hours you've not eaten.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that is big. That's huge. You should know that that's a big deal. So then you have to get something. And I say that if you can't eat what Ghanaians consider as proper food, at least the healthy beverages. When I say healthy, I have to stress
healthy beverages because there's also been concerns about what you take in the morning.
Sometimes I think that let's look at this for example. Somebody ate the last meal at 6.
Okay. 6 p.m. you mean?
6 p.m.
Right.
And then he wakes up at 4 a.m. to come and do the work you do. During the morning show from 6 to 10. Let's say 10, he can't go and eat.
Yes.
He can eat at 5 a.m.
Okay.
Because from 6 to the 5 is more than almost.
At that 5 a.m., is it rice or it should be,
it can
bread
be rice,
and tea?
It can be any of the food you are eating.
Okay.
Because you need the energy to
in
do
the
the work you are
consulting
doing.
room, we avoid, or those of us from the consulting room,
right.
dietitians generally, we avoid trying to give meal plans.
Okay.
Generally, when we're talking to the public, because meals are individualized based on genetic, physical,
availability,
biochemical, the type of work you do, even cost.
Yeah.
Because the point is, what we do as dietitians is that we modify your diet. We don't change your diet. So whatever you are eating, you're going to modify it to make sure that it is healthy to suit your unique characteristics.
Okay.
That is why, sometimes when you are saying some of these things generally, sometimes it comes at a risk. Because then somebody, he was trying to draw a line between she and then someone else.
Yes.
Somebody was working or has been working actively in the night. So if you say that, don't eat at night, recently our president said that we shouldn't be eating very late.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody's physical activity, maybe just so hectic that they are better off eating. So the diet should be individualized. But however, for the average Ghanaian who sleeps for that 7 hours, 8 hours, and wakes up at 6 a.m., I mean, around that time, when most people are awake, I mean, when you wake up, you should think of the next thing to do. And that is finish bathing and eat.
So in the morning, and we're wrapping up on this, we just want to draw a meal plan and see how it goes, right? So in the morning, let's say 8 a.m., 9 a.m., cocoa with kose.
Yes.
Do you know I don't do those things as my breakfast? My breakfast is banku.
So you see?
Okay.
You see?
I can eat fufu in the morning.
Okay.
Because when I go to the hospital, I can't take a break.
Okay, you can move out a lot.
So
Yeah.
if I get my beans
So you
at
need
8
to
o'clock,
eat heavy in the morning.
it takes me to like 3 or 4.
Okay.
So it depends on what you do. So
What you
someone
do.
like, for example, who sits and talk as you're doing, don't necessarily have to take banku or yam every morning. Because you're taking more carbohydrates. Because the level of physical activity is low. You're not moving up and down like the one who is also. So you must factor all of this in determining what you should eat and what time you should eat and the quantity of the food you should even eat.
Okay. Even with me these days, my first meal will be after 2 p.m. when I'm done with the show.
2 p.m. Well, you don't feel hungry. Is it intentional or you?
No, I think that it comes with it, because I leave here after 8. After 8, I get home 10 p.m. So let me do the calculation. I wake up around 8 a.m.
Okay.
I don't really feel I've got to eat. Then I get here, and then I come and do the show 2 p.m. after post-production between, let's say, 2:30. That's where I can get some gobe, some jollof, some fufu. And then we have to start production for evening at 7 p.m. So it continues like that. And lately, I've tried to eat at 5:36 so that I don't eat again when I get home. But then I can get some apple or some banana or something.
Yeah.
That's a nice.
So for your level of physical activity, it is possible to eat what a Ghanaian considers as proper meals. Whilst in between, you can use the opportunity to take the fruit.
Okay. Yeah.
Because fruit intake is very important. I'm sure if I asked you.
Yesterday I took banana.
Yesterday? Okay, how about the day before?
Don't put no, I didn't. No.
Because somebody should identify that. No, it's good. Because
some of my colleagues
whoever listens to us must know that fruit intake.
Yeah.
When you then take fruit in a day, think of it as, like we say in Chi, you've eaten fufu without meat. That's how you should feel like, so I'm going to the whole day without taking food. That is wrong.
Fortunately for us, we have a fruit salad just at the entrance. And so it's easier. Oh, Esther, every time we get pawpaw, all of those things. She has all of those
things. So it should be regular.
Regular. We'll try and do that regularly. So,
let me say before I forget, all the things you mentioned must go together.
Okay.
So you should eat healthy. You should exercise. You should drink more water. You should do all of these things together. If you take one, say I exercise.
Okay.
But I eat anyhow, your risk will increase. So let's put all of them together as a lifestyle change that we might see.
Let me answer this for those who take the alcohol. Some write 5%. I've seen 13%.
The BS.
And then there's the bubra also. Should it be with regards to the percentage or
so before you talk, this I'm going to say.
Okay.
No amount of alcohol is safe for us.
Okay.
So if you haven't started, never start. Because once you get started, it becomes addictive.
Okay.
Now if you're addicted, reduce the concentration of alcohol in your drinks. So if you are doing 40, start coming to the 5, to the 10, and if possible, you stop.
Okay.
You understand?
Oh, okay. So bring it down till you,
so later you
stop.
Because the food we eat, we get the alcohol the body needs from it, from the yam, from the food. And so you don't have to introduce a new alcohol into which has effect on your body. Lead to stroke, hypertension, diabetes, all those conditions, even blindness may all come from alcohol consumption. So
and for young people also lately, there's the balloon.
Yeah.
There's the shisha. The balloon now is gaining, ground. You see the ladies, you see everybody.
A very dangerous practice where they combine caffeine, caffeinated products and alcohol. When you combine the two, the FDA has had to, introduce a policy where it has banned the production of the stimulant containing alcoholic beverages. So there's a popular one that, I couldn't mention the name, but so it had caffeine in it whilst it was alcoholic.
Okay.
The two substances work antagonistically. One is a suppressant, one is a stimulant. So what are you doing to your body?
Confuse the body.
You are really messing up your body. What you're doing is to introduce stresses. And stress is a typical or a very important risk factor for NCDs.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we've almost spent close to an hour talking about this, and it shows the importance that we need to attach to this. There's so much cancer, diabetes, stroke happening to young people, kidney, liver, all of those things that due to our lifestyle, we need to change that. We really need to. For me, in the past few weeks, there are lots of things that I am trying. But off air, I'll tell them what happened yesterday. I'll tell them what happened yesterday. Just when we are wrapping up. Just a few seconds, anything you want to add finally, then we can wrap it up.
So I want to say that the Food and Drugs Authority, under the leadership of Professor Kwabena Frimpong-Manso-Opudi, is very committed to helping improve the food environment, ensuring that food is not only safe for consumption, but as far as the composition are concerned, make sure that we use what we call technical regulation. That's why we are working with the University of Ghana School of Public Health. The advocacy groups, also to come up with these 4 policies to ensure that when you go out on the market, you see foods, you're able to identify foods that are healthy and unhealthy. We're able to restrict the promotion of foods that are unhealthy. We will urge government to buy foods that are healthy for its people when it's supposed to buy food. And then government will be able to use taxes appropriately to check the intake, the production, and then the intake of unhealthy foods. Okay. So I want to encourage Ghanaians that indeed the government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Health and the FDA and its partners, are doing well. And we are hoping that very soon these policies will be rolled out.
Okay, thank you.
My final words will be, the health is all we have, right? So if you need energy to work, it must be in good health. Let us take our health into our hands and live healthy, make the right choices, and hopefully we'll be able to live longer. We're hoping that government also will be able to fast-track the implementation of this policy we've spoken about, and ensure that our food environment is safe, that our children, even those who are coming up. There's this 4-year-old child who is currently on dialysis that we attend to. 4-year-old. We can talk about that. So the point that there are many people, and there's a young man who is the breadwinner for the family. Now he's down. So children cannot go to school. So let us be able to live healthy for ourselves and for the country and our family. Thank you so much.
Right, so gentlemen, thank you so much for coming for this very insightful conversation. Desmond Pakwesi Hackman is a registered dietitian and senior regulatory officer with the Food and Drugs Authority, and also heard from James Makiona, registered nurse and global public health practitioner, part of the Ghana Public Health Association. And we've been talking about non-communicable diseases, the risk of it, inactivity, harmful use of alcohol, tobacco use, and unhealthy diet. So we are doing a revision. And there's saturated fat, sodium intake, high sodium intake, alcohol, and sugar. We need to take note of these. We're taking a break. When we come back, we have more here on Good Afternoon Ghana.
The pulse of a nation, rising, unshaken. When the Black Stars take the world stage, we don't just play, we bring the storm. Fuel the dream. Support the Black Stars. Storm Energy Drink. Make your mark. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
Mommy, good morning.
Good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
Joe, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally? Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery, which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, first Ghana Colorectal Center, aim to serve a peculiar health need.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits, happy smile.
Today's class is going to be an exciting one. Now, who can share an unforgettable moment in their life? Okay, Asempa.
I'd like to talk about my first time. It was her natural look, complemented by her favorite green silky apparel that caught my attention. I have to say, she automatically possessed me with her smile, which exposed her beautiful white teeth. That's not all. Her enduring signature perfume could be smelled from afar. Madam, why do you look so surprised? My first time with her was special and irresistible. I'm talking about Cindy Rice. Cindy Rice can be found in selected supermarkets nationwide.
Cindy Rice, sweet aroma, great taste.
This advert is FDA approved.
This is the old way. Let me show you a new and a better way. EduPack.
EduPack?
Yes, EduPack. A GS-approved and supported initiative for all first-year students going to SHS by Prospectus Ghana Limited. Now you don't need to go to the market. All your trunks, mattresses, pillows, including plastic chalkboards, are all waiting for your child at the school. Note, all our wooden chalkboards are being changed to plastic ones to avoid bedbugs.
You can also register by dialing *713*821# following the prompts, or you can visit www.edupackgh.com and tap register. You can also register at any ADB branch near you at a very affordable price. EduPack, approved and supported by GES.
From the grandest stage, the badges change, but the passion remains. It's a special goal. What is the hour? Come the man. This football is from the heavens. What a story this is.
10 months of drama lie ahead. The stage is set.
The biggest stars from the world's biggest leagues on SuperSport. It's on DSTV.
Still on our conversation about sanitation in the country and how we are handling that. That's on the back of the Clean Conference that took place on Friday at the City Conference. So, and there's this gentleman that I saw there, and he's here with us to talk about that. He's the national coordinator for the Ghana Watch Journalists Network. Justice Lee Adobo is here with me. Welcome. Great to have you.
Yeah.
On the other side, we meet at the other side.
Yes,
but let's talk about the network first.
All right.
And then we can talk about what you'd seen from the conference also.
Yes, sure. Basically, Ghana Watch Journalist Network is like-minded journalists who, understanding our role in development, they're informative and then also educative, and then also when it comes to accountability of, holding leaders accountable. So we put that together and realized that in the watch sector, at the time we were starting, there was the need for this interface, among the various players, various stakeholders in the water, sanitation, and hygiene sector.
Okay.
You are talking about, policy and then implementation. You are talking about non-state actors. Then now you are talking about you and me, who are the final users, who are the right holders, who need to be served water, that is clean water, who need to be served sanitation services in their proper form, improved sanitation. So we realized that there was this gap. There was no media advocacy on this. So we came together with the support of, some players in the water sector, we came together to establish the network, and we've been working hard at it since around 2008, thereabout. Yes.
Okay. Then a lot of work has been done already. But for the conference and all that was said there, of course, the chief of staff was there from the government perspective. Sure. We had also other stakeholders and all that is said. And it's all towards the drive of 2030. Sure. And as journalists, that's what we do. We try to assess the progress and hear from stakeholders. Were you assured enough, or you're with everybody that we will be able to do this?
Okay, so development is progressive. We used to have the MDGs, that is the Millennium Development Goals. But after the MDGs, then the world leaders thought that, okay, were these developments sustainable? Then the idea of bringing sustainable development also came in. So development is a progressive thing. Yes, we might not be able to achieve every, goal, but then work needs to be done. Even when we achieve, work must be done. So there's no need to maybe feel disappointed or maybe dejected that, where we are not going to be able to achieve, so we should abandon. No, we should persist. And for me, what I saw at the conference, you realize that all the speakers, all the guests, everybody was conscious about this date. That is where I believe that Metro TV got it right, in organizing this program, because it brought the government perspective. It brought our traditional leaders, and look at the way they were speaking passionately about sanitation. You understand me? So you realize that it has brought a new impetus into the struggle to ensure that we are able to achieve the goals on target by 2030. So I believe it was a very great event. It was well thought through, and then let's see how, especially from government's perspective, how they put their shoulders to the wheel to deliver.
Because at the end of the day, it stops with them, really.
It stops with them, actually.
To put the system together for all of us to follow through.
Yes, sure.
But in your writings, and you see that, do you think there's been an over-concentration on certain areas when it comes to the basic amenities that is supposed to help in this drive? Water, what's the word? Water for communities across the country and all of that.
Okay, so in all development or many development activities, you have the low-hanging fruits. And then also you have those that you would need to use the low-hanging fruits as a stepping stone to reach. When it comes to sanitation, for instance, sanitation is in various, parts. You have the solid waste that we deal with. Then you also have the liquid waste. Now, especially in the liquid waste, you need water to be able to deliver. And that is talking about having sanitation facilities in homes, in institutions, etc. That is toilets in homes and in institutions like our schools, prisons, hospitals, etc. Without water, you are not going to be able to have, proper improved latrines in these places. So you need water to do it. So you will not say there is an overconcentration, but rather there's been less concentration on some of them. That is why some of them may seem to be lagging, especially when it comes to sanitation. But you realize also that, especially when it comes to liquid waste, since 2014, the government and the World Bank developed this Gamma project that was supposed to provide, opportunities for households in urban, low-income urban communities to be able to build their own household latrines. And that project ran from 2014 up to 2024 and had delivered some, great results. And we will believe that that needs to be continued. That project must not, end, because it has rather opened our eyes into how, through, government support, households can also bring something on board and they're able to secure their own household latrines. You understand me? And then through that, you're able to build latrines for schools, health facilities,
Yes.
etc. So you don't have to end that project just because the World Bank funding has ended. We need to take it up from there and then drive, towards achieving the universal coverage that we all envisage by 2030.
Yeah.
And also when it comes to solid waste, there is, a lot more that needs to be done about solid waste. There's a lot more that needs to be done. Because one woman was asking me just 3 days ago, when we collect, it was during the program, one woman from Lions Club.
Okay.
The Lions Club was heavily represented there.
Yes.
And we were sitting together and she was asking me, so this whole issue, when we collect, where is the final point? Then we started talking about, segregating waste into various components so that it will make recycling easy and all those things. And we need to take, deliberate steps.
Okay.
The deliberate steps is what we have not been taking, which is why it seems that one particular aspect is lagging. But when we become deliberate, all our research that must go into this, and then see that how can we bring, our goals a bit closer.
To us, right?
Yeah.
As a network, as a journalist, what's the difficult part of reporting on water sanitation issues?
Yes, some of the difficult things you are going to meet on the field, especially when it comes to sanitation. If you are a person who does not want to be touched by dirt, filth, then you will not be ready to go into the field. But then we do. We go in there because it is human beings who are living there.
Yeah.
Some of us come from those communities. Like I was telling someone recently that I've been reporting water sanitation for close to 20 years. It was only about 2 years ago that I moved into a community that had pipe in my house. Only 2 years ago. So you can also see that from personal perspective,
yes,
I would think perhaps all that I am doing, I am not benefiting. But no, it helps bring up human beings, human communities, especially for me in schools. When you go to schools and they don't have a toilet. Recently, we were reading a report where a child trying to go to buy water to drink was knocked down by a car. From school, was running across the road to buy water and was knocked down by a car, which must not happen.
Which must not happen. And even in our public spaces, when you're walking around town, can you say you can just walk into a market washroom and use it?
That is the difficulty, like Tema Station here. Like recently, we did a project with Koniwas at the Achimota, Madina Station, and then we did one at 37 Station. These are places you would not, a decent person would not want to enter when you look at the way the places are kept. Recently, I was returning from Bolga. We got to Kumasi, and one of these vehicle terminals, I don't want to mention their name on air, they have a huge edifice dedicated to washroom. So the urinal is downstairs, and then you climb to the top to access the toilet. But the place was filthy. It was so filthy. And I told them, I'm coming from something concerning this, and how do you keep this place so filthy? And people are accessing it, and people are carrying more disease from there than they went in with, which is.
And now the bigger one has to do with illegal mining and how it has polluted our water bodies, and we are not able to treat them, and so it compounds the whole issue with clean water as is one of the SDGs.
And you see, Ghana Water always talking about the increasing cost of water treatment for them. And you see, when these things are happening, it is human beings. Look at the reports that are coming that because of illegal mining, children are being born with some of their body parts not formed, with deformities. You understand me? So we need the money. We need to keep food on the table for families. However, that must not deny the country of water which is supposed to be free for everybody.
Right. Lee, any final thing?
Yes, so I would say that, yes, like I said the other day, I was very glad to see the Chief of Staff at the conference because he has been with sanitation and WASH, interestingly, since he became local government minister. And you will see his commitment to it. And we would like to say that as he came, the commitments he spoke about, he is there in the big house. He should ensure that these are delivered on. Thank you.
It starts from there. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Right.
Justice Lee Adobo is National Coordinator for the Ghana WASH Journalists Network. As we, just talked about the Clean Conference and all that is to be learned from that. So this is where we draw the curtains on today's program. Many thanks for joining us here on Good Afternoon Ghana. Log on to Metro TV Online for more news. We're back at 7 p.m. with News Tonight. I am Desmond Okrekudan. So many thanks for watching. Have a good afternoon.